All right. We're doing facts about World War One.
It's upside down.
World War One, also known as the Great War, began in 1914 after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria. His murder catapulted into a war that across Europe that lasted until 1918. During the conflict, Germany, Austria-Hungary, both one country at the time, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire, or the Central Powers, fought against Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, Romania, Canada, Japan, and the United States, all the Allied powers. Thanks to new military technologies and the horrors of trench warfare, World War I saw unprecedented levels of carnage and destruction. By the time the war was over and the Allied powers claimed victory, more than 16 million people, soldiers and civilians alike, were dead. Tensions have been brewing throughout Europe, especially in the troubled Balkan region of southeast Europe, for years before World War I actually broke out. A number of alliances involving European powers, the Ottoman Empire, Russia, and other parties had existed for years, but political instability in the Balkans, particularly Bosnia, Serbia, and Herzegovina, threatened to destroy these agreements. The spark that ignited World War I was struck in Sarajevo, Bosnia, where Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, was shot to death, along with his wife Sophie, by the Serbian nationalist Gavrilo Princip on June 28, 1914. Princip and other nationalists were struggling to end Austro-Hungarian rule over Bosnia and Herzegovina. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand set off a rapidly escalating chain of events. Austria-Hungary, like many other countries around the world, blamed the Serbian government for the attack and hoped to use the incident as justification for setting the question of Serbian nationalism once and for all. Kaiser Wilhelm II, because mighty Russia supported Serbia, Austria-Hungary waited to declare war until its leaders received assurance from German leader Kaiser Wilhelm II that Germany would support their cause. Austro-Hungarian leaders feared that a Russian intervention would involve Russia's ally, France, and possibly Great Britain as well. On July 5th, Kaiser Wilhelm secretly pledged his support, giving Austria-Hungary a so-called carte blanche, or blank check assurance of Germany's backing in the case of war. The dual monarchy of Austria-Hungary then sent an ultimatum to Serbia, with such harsh terms as to make it almost impossible to accept.
Okay. Which one does sound better? My regular voice or this? Convince Austria.
Go with that voice.
That voice?
Do it.
I've been really practicing. I'm trying to do a deeper voice.
Do
Think
it.
it's gonna work?
I think it will.
Okay. Okay. World War I begins. Convinced Austria was ready for war, Serbian government ordered the Serbian army mobilized and appealed to Russia for assistance. On July 28th, Austria declared war on Serbia. The tennis peace between Europe, great power, collapsed. Within a week, Russia, Belgium, France, Great Britain, and Serbia lined up against Austria and Germany, or Austria and Germany. World War I had begun. The Western Front, according to an aggressive military strategy known as the Schlieffen Plan, for its mastermind, German Field Marshal Alfred von Schlieffen, Germany began fighting World War I, two fronts invading France through neutral Belgium in the west and confronting Russia in the east. On August 4th, 1914, Germany troops crossed the border into Belgium. In the First Battle of World War One, the Germans assaulted a heavily fortified city, Liege, using the most powerful weapon in their arsenal, enormous side cannons, to capture the city by August 15. Germans left death and destruction in their wake as they advanced through Belgium towards France, shooting civilians, executing a Belgian priest they had accused, inciting civilian resistance. First Battle of Marne, or is it Marne? Oh, Marne. Marne or Marne?
I think it's Marna.
Marne. The First Battle of the Marne fought September 6 through 9, 1914. French-British forces confronted the invading Germany army, which had been then penetrated deep into northeastern France. 30 miles appeared altitude, checked the German and mounted a successful counterattack, driving the Germany back to north of Aisne River. The defeat meant the end of German plans. A quick victory in France. Both sides dug into trenches. The Western Front was the setting for a hellish war of attrition. Attrition that will last more than 3 years. Particularly long, costly battle and campaign were fought at Verdun, February to December 1916. The Battle of the Somme, is that how you spell it? Soma. July, November 1916. German and French troops suffered 1 million casualties in the Battle of Verdun. World War I, book and art. The bloodshed on the battlefield, the Western Front, the difficulty its soldiers had for years after the fighting, ended, inspired such work of art as All Quiet on the Western Front. The Eric Maria Remarque. Yep. Yeah. And Flanders Fields by Canadian Doctor Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae. In the latter film, McCrae writes from the perspective of the fallen soldier. Published in 1915, the poem inspired the use of the poppy as a symbol of remembrance. Visual artists like Otto Dix of Germany and British painter Wynham. Would that be it? Wynham, Lewis Paul Nash, and David Bomberg used first-hand experience as soldiers in World War I to create their art, capturing the English trench warfare, exploring the themes of technology, violence, and landscape decimated by war. The Eastern Front, last part. The Eastern Front, World War I, Russian forces invaded German Hell region, East Prussia, Prussia, and Poland, but were stopped short by German, Austrian forces at the Battle of Tannenberg. in late August 1914. Despite that victory, Russia's assault had forced Germany to move two corps from the Western Front to the Eastern, contributing to the German loss in the Battle of the Marne. Combined with their fierce Allied resistance and France's ability of Russia's huge war machine to mobilize quickly in the East ensure a longer, more grueling conflict instead of quick victory. Germany had hoped to win under the Schlieffen Plan. Make sure that. Okay.
Part 1.
Yup.